everyone, hope you're all safe and healthy, and welcome back to Episode Vlogs. So today I'm here at the One of One showroom where I have previously made a lot of videos, a total of 4 videos I believe. That's the most videos I have made in one particular showroom, and today I'm back at the One of One showroom to make a video with the all new 2021 Mustang Mach-1, and I will go through all the details or design changes and exterior and interior changes of the new Mach-1 compared to the standard Mustang GT. So what I just wanted to say before we go ahead and take a look at the car is that if you are watching these videos or my videos specifically from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, do come and visit One of One. They have an amazing collection of luxury cars, sports cars, and now they also have a supercar. So that one you can come out and check it. Also, if you are not able to visit them, do follow them on Instagram as well as Snapchat. I'll leave the links to both down in the description, so do consider following them. They have new cars as well as pre-owned cars, so there's a bit of everything for everyone. So now let's not waste any more time and we'll take a look at the car. Alright guys, so here's the Mustang Mach-1 2021. So let me first tell you about the name, where it comes from, the Mach-1. So the Mach is a unit of measurement of speed for the speed of sound. So Mach-1 means the speed of sound, that's 761 miles per hour or 1225 kilometers per hour. And Ford decided to put this badge on this or the previous Mustang, or which started out at like 1969 and it was in production till 1978. So they decided to make a model with the Mach-1 name to give respect to Chuck Yeager, who was the first man to reach Mach-1 or speed of sound in a manned aircraft. So now we'll take a look at the design changes that have been done from the standard Mustang to make it into the Mach-1. Also in 2003 and 2004, the Mach-1, there was another model which was just for 2 years I believe, and then after that they have directly introduced it right in 2021. So now let's go through the changes. So the first changes are over here, that is below the bumper. The headlights are similar to the new Mustang headlights. The ones on the GT350 or GT300 were, GT500 and GT350, those were the old style headlights, but now these are updated to look like the 2021. Then down below we have the air intakes, which are similar to the one on the GT500. You have your indicators here. You have obviously the open air intake, and one thing I like is they have decided not to use gloss black. Instead they have this satin grey material, which is actually metallic. I hope you could see the flakes in there. So it's metallic. Then lower down you have this extra front splitter. You can see how wide it is on the front and the way it flows nicely into the corner over here, which again helps to channel air across the side of the body. And again it's in that same satin metallic grey, and it looks really good. So you could see they have that just a bit of a space to allow air to go smoothly down the side. Then what else do they have is this new shark nose grille. It's different than the standard Mustang, so you have this over here, which makes it look a lot different and much more aggressive. Then here you can see we have the Mustang badge again in the satin grey metallic paint, which looks really good. And then the new addition for the Mach-1 is this. So these are actually air intakes. These plastic panels inside are removable, and you can use it to obviously give additional RAM air intake, which improves horsepower and the engine efficiency in providing that power. You can also get fog lamps in this section, but the most famous modification, something most of the RTR cars have, is how they integrate LED fog lamps right around this circle. And if this was my car, that is the modification I would have done. Just put a small LED strip around, and it looks really mean and aggressive because of that. The other changes are noticeable. The noticeable changes is obviously this livery. So you have this again, it's a matte grey with the gloss black sticker around with the white edges, and you have the Mach-1 logo. The way this Mach-1 logo is designed is it is the font which was used on the previous or first generation of Mach-1, so it's a nod to that old font, which looks really good. And let me tell you about the price of this car. So this car over here is 375,000 reals, Let me just zoom in so you can see clearly. So 375,000 riyal is roughly around $100,000. So it is that expensive. I know it is around $60,000 in the US, but here in Saudi Arabia, it's due to the increased import taxes and different VAT taxes. The price does increase for it. So that's all to show on the hood. Again, one more thing, you have heat extractors on the hood itself. The previous Mark 1s actually had a shaker hood. So that was obviously to provide more airflow into the engine to increase power. But Ford said that they didn't do that because it would disrupt the handling a bit, because the shaker hood obviously flexes the engine bay a lot, and something on a track focus car, you don't want that flexing. You want it to stay as stiff as possible. So now that's done, and since we are already at the front, we should take a look at the engine bay. One thing I wanted to show you is the key. So standard Mustang key with lock, unlock, and this is to open your trunk. And when I unlock it, I like the way how the LED and DRLs look. It just makes it feel a lot more aggressive, and to be honest, I do like this design more than the previous light design. So that's something, that's my opinion. Many people do like the older style headlights, but I prefer this one. So now that we have unlocked the car, what I'll do is open up the hood and we'll talk about the engine. Okay, so here's the engine bay of the Mustang Mach 1. So let's talk about the changes in the engine bay. So the biggest change you can see is this strut brace over here to obviously stiffen up the engine bay to stop it from flexing, and you have the Mach 1 logo on it. So the changes from the standard Mustang GT is that this Mustang has the intake manifold from the Shelby GT350, and it's basically the same engine that was in the Bullet Mustang. So you have 480 horsepower and 420 pound-feet of torque. So the torque figure is the same as the Mustang GT, but the power is up by 20 horsepower. Along that, the intake manifold, you do have a larger air intake, a high performance one. You can just see how huge it is in front of my hands. My hands are not small, so you can just guess how much air this thing needs to cool down. Also, something taken from the Mustang GT350 or Shelby GT350 is the throttle bodies. So I think it gives it a better throttle response compared to the standard GT. So that's all the changes in the engine. So like I said, 480 horsepower with 420 pound-feet of torque. Pound-feet of torque, that's like 624 Newton meters. And you get an option of 2 transmissions. One is a 6-speed manual, that's from Tremec, and the other is a 10-speed automatic. So with the manual, Ford say if you are good enough at launching it and your gear shifts are pretty good, you can get a 0 to 100 time of around 4.5 seconds. The automatic will be quicker, obviously, because the gear changing is done by the computer, so it's much faster than a human. So that's all there is to show. And let me just close up the engine bay and we'll talk about the other things. Okay, so now that we are done talking about the engine bay, we'll talk about the side design now. So on the side, this is the base Mustang GT3 or Mustang Mach 1 actually. You have 3 trim options: base, premium, and then the handling package. To be honest, personally, I do love the handling package the most out of all these. Out of all the trims of the Mustang Mach 1, because you get the wheels, and the aero package is totally different, and that is something I like a lot. But the base model has this 19-inch wheels, which are 255 section at the front, and these are sitting on the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. They are a bit road focused tires, while the handling package does get Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2s that are a much grippier and stickier track tire. But on the street, it's a bit tricky to drive in the wet due to them being, they need a bit of heat so that they can grip properly. But here, the other changes are, these are basically the standard Mustang's wheels. I've seen this wheel design on other Mustang GTs also. But what is different over here is the brake. So the brakes are new. You have 381 millimeters or 15-inch brake discs that are gripped by 6 piston calipers from Brembo. So this is something that is taken from, I believe, the Ford Mustang Performance Pack 2. So that is the difference over here. And this brake caliper, you can get it in either black, this red, or you can get it in orange if you go for the handling package. So that's something you know now. and I do like this color. It's matte gray, similar to the trim over here, and it looks good with this brushed aluminum on the rim. But I do like the wheel design which comes on the handling package, and personally, if this was my car, I would go for it. Then on the side, what else do we have? We have the Mach 1 logo itself. So again, with that same font, usually you get a 5-liter badge on the side, but here you're getting the Mach 1 logo with that old style font, and it does look really good. And on the side itself, everything is similar to the 5-liter Mustang. The only changes are you get this side stripe in the livery as in the hood. So you have that side stripe here, and you have the side skirt also in that same satin metallic gray. Then we come to the door mirrors. Door mirrors again have this same satin metallic gray, and you have your indicators here. And this satin metallic gray, you only get it on the Mach 1, you don't get it on the others. Then let's come behind. It's a bit congested, but I will make do. Then we come to the rear wheel. So you have a 19-inch again, but you have 275 section tires that are a bit wider. If you go for the handling package though, you do get much wider tires. So with the handling package, you get 305 section tires at the front with 315 sections at the back, and they are 20 inches in size. So they are 1 inch bigger than the ones on the base model. Aside from this wheel design, you do get another one, but I do personally like those handling package rims. Then again, the brakes are a bit smaller. For some reason online I couldn't find the brake disc size. For some reason, I don't know why, but you don't get the Brembo brake calipers at the back, you only get it at the front. These are the standard brake calipers which you get, but they are painted in red color. Then like I said, from the side, that livery continues all the way over here, and you have that similar satin gray metallic trim again back here. One thing I like about the Mustang is that fastback shape, and to be honest, out of all the pony cars, the Mustang is definitely one of my favorites. And now that we are at the back, the taillight design is again similar, but the other changes compared to the standard 5-liter Mustang is this. So on the 5-liter or the standard GT, you have a lower spoiler, which does not provide a lot of downforce. It's just there for an appearance, but this one does provide additional downforce. And you can see it's again in that satin metallic gray color. And compared to the GT's spoiler, it is a bit higher, so it provides real downforce. But again, if you go for the handling package, you do get a different rear spoiler, which is taken from the base GT 500, and it has an additional gurney flap on it to provide more downforce. Then here you have gloss black with the Mach 1 logo written in the middle, and it does look good. You can see on the outside, you rarely have the Mustang logo, or you only have one at the front, and you have it on the wheel caps. That's it. And then you have your camera for your backup, and that's all. Then we come to the rear bumper itself at the lower section of it. This whole rear section is taken from the GT 500 or the GT 350. So it obviously provides additional downforce while you are on the track. And you have 4.5-inch exhaust tips. You can just see how huge they are compared to my hand. These are 4.5-inch. The GT 500 gets 5-inch tips, so you can just imagine how big those will be. So this is my first time actually reviewing a Mustang, and also being close to one. That means while sitting in it and experiencing how the Mustang is. So I'm a bit excited. Then you have your reverse light here, and that's all there is to show on this side. So now that we are at the back, I think we should take a look at the boot space. So to open the boot, you have a button inside. You also have the button on the key fob, but you can also open it via the button over here. So let me just find it. There we go. It opens up, and you just push it up. So it's a decent amount of space. It's around, let me just check. You have 382 liters of boot space. That's like 13.5 cubic feet. So you can see you have a decent amount, and it does look good. I believe you can fit a decent amount of luggage in it for a weekend. You do have some underfloor storage, I believe. Yep, this one does not have the spare tire. Instead, it has the tire repair kit. So that's something you know now. And also this Mustang has a 60-liter fuel tank. That's like 16 gallons of fuel. So that turns out to be 60 liters. So that's all at the back. What I'll do now is I'll put up video of how this car sounds. So obviously those 4.5 inch exhaust tips make this car sound really good, and I will put up a clip of it right now, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the interior. Okay, so one thing I forgot to tell you guys about the car is that it does have the Magnerite suspension, that's magneto-rheological dampers. It's also available on the GT3. It was available on the GT350. Now that car is discontinued, so it's a bit more track focused than what you get on the standard GT, and obviously it differs or changes its characteristics according to the drive mode you are in. Also, there are some things taken from the GT350. That's the engine oil cooler, the transmission cooler, and the differential cooler. All of them have some ducts below the underbody which help cool those things specifically. And also, since this is a manual, you do get the limited slip differential at the back, and if you go for the 10-speed automatic, you do not get the differential. So now that's done, we'll take a look at the interior now. Okay, now let's talk about the door trim first. So the door trim has this, since this one has the Recaro bucket seats on it, you have Alcantara over here with some white stitching. You have the leather on the armrest, which is really soft. You do have some hard plastics here, but that's okay. Then you have a nice aluminum trim, or actually it's plastic with the aluminum color, and it's a nice chunky grab handle though. Then you have your window controls and your side mirror controls. You have your door handle here, and I believe you can see that ambient light over there, and you have lock and unlock buttons. You have some decent amount of door pockets, and you have your speakers there. I hope you can see them clearly. Now that's done. On the sill plates you have your Mark 1 logo with the checkered flag, and then we come to the seats. Now these seats, like I said, are the Recaro bucket seats. These are an optional extra, and these are totally manual. You don't get any electric adjustability in this. If you want electric seats, you'll have to go for the standard seats, and they are full leather, while these ones are in a grippier material. They're not exactly Alcantara, but I think they're a suede material, so these ones will help you better on the track. And other things, one thing I wanted to show you, you have the Mustang logo projected on the floor when you open the door. So now let's take a seat inside and we'll talk about the interior. Okay, so now we are in the interior of the Mustang GT or Mustang Mach 1. I always call it GT for some reason. So now let me just turn on the systems first. So you have your start stop button here, and this turns on the systems. And let me see if it turns on the instrument cluster. You can see it shows a Mach 1 right there. The AC is on, so let me just switch that off so that it doesn't interfere with my microphone. Okay, now that's done. Now that we are in the car itself, let's talk about the interior. So like I said, the door trim quality is really good, and what you have here is also very nice soft touch material and leather, so it's nice and easy, cool, I mean soft to the touch. If you get a Bang & Olufsen sound system, you do get an extra speaker here. This one does not have that Bang & Olufsen sound system. And other than that, the design of the dashboard actually mimics the older Mustangs, so that is something they have carried forward to the newer Mustangs as well. So nice thinking by Ford. Now what else do we have on the dashboard itself? So you have your Mach 1 logo with the chassis number itself. So most of the Mach 1s have this. I'm not sure if this is a limited run or it is something you will get it throughout the production year of the Mustang, but I have heard from some people, they say that it's a limited run. And then you have this dark aluminum type of trim which has some design in it. It does look good, better than piano black at least, so I like that. Then what else do we have? You have your light controls here. Then you have your AC vents here in the middle. You have two gauges. So this is your oil pressure gauge and this is your vacuum gauge. I don't specifically know what the vacuum gauge is for, but that is there for those who need additional information. Then speaking about the seats, these Recaro seats do hug the body pretty well. For me they are a bit tight because my body size is towards the larger side and I do feel a bit uncomfortable in it. But it does, I think after sitting in it for some time I will be comfortable. And in terms of headroom, let me just show you. I think if you can see it, let me just turn on the flashlight first. So there we go. So in terms of headroom, it is okay. Even despite I'm wearing the cap, I do have a decent amount of headroom, and I can easily comfortably sit inside. Also, the fact that the seat does go quite a bit low helps me in that, so I can easily, be comfortable in it. Then we come to the steering wheel itself. Now the steering wheel has quite a bit of buttons. So you have your volume buttons, and basically your media buttons are here. You have your cruise control buttons here. Then these are your buttons to control the digital instrument cluster, and these are your navigation buttons and Mustang buttons, etc. Then you have your additional, let me just turn on the flashlight again. You have your additional storage here, which you can use to store coins or something. It's lined with felt, so nothing will scratch up. Then you have your button to open the tailgate, and this steering wheel is manually adjustable, I believe. Yep, it's tilt and telescopic, but it is manual control. I don't mind that. So that's how it is. Now it's in its highest position. I think I'm more comfortable now. You have your light controls, indicator controls, and these are, I believe that's for your lane keeping assist. Then you have your windshield wipers here. Then on the steering wheel, the Mustang logo is there. What I would have liked personally is the Mach 1 logo on it. It would have made the cabin feel much more special. Now what we'll do is take a look at the instrument cluster itself. The instrument cluster, to control it, you have your navigation button here, the phone, your music, and your Mustang button here. Now basically you can't control anything if it's in this mode. You have to press this Mustang button here. Now when you press the Mustang button, it takes you to my mode, and in my mode you have a lot of different things you can do. Then you press the back button. You have your exhaust mode, which you can press OK. You can keep it in quiet, normal, sport, or racetrack, anything you want to do. You can also put on your quiet start from here, so you don't wake up your neighbors in the morning. Then you have your track apps. Now in the track apps, you have your acceleration timer, brake performance, line lock. That I think only activates when you are in track mode. And you have your lap timer and start option. Then others, you have your performance shift indicator, which shows you the shift points, etc. And you have your launch control in this. You have your rev matching. So the manual does have rev matching, and also it has no lift shift. So basically if you're on the track and you're gunning it down the road, you don't need to lift off from the throttle to change gears. You can just directly change it. Then you can change the gauges how you want, and you have your my color, that's for your ambient lighting, etc. All that stuff you can control it from this. You can also control the cluster appearance for this. We can change it via the drive mode, etc. All that stuff. Then let's go back. You see the drive mode has changed. So that's all to show over here. Now we'll come to the center console itself. Now on the center console you have this this is a 12-inch screen, by the way. This one, I think it's an 8-inch screen. You have the Sync 3 for the infotainment system. So you have your audio controls, climate controls. You can basically control all the stuff of that over here. Then you have your phone navigation. You have your mobile apps and basic different settings. In mobile apps, you can this thing also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. I believe it is wireless also. I'm not sure though. So over here you have some more media control buttons here. You can shut off the screen with this, I believe, or it's actually just for the media control. You have your volume control here. You have your tuning knob here, and they do feel nice and clicky and cool to the touch. So this is actual metal. Then down below we have your climate control. So you can change your temperature via this. And let me just shut it off. Then what else do we have is basically this one does not have it, but these buttons, if you go for the option of the heated and ventilated seats, you get those buttons here. Then here you have your hazard button, which push up, and you have your traction control button, which if you press it up, you can see it switches it off and you can turn it on that way. Then this is for your steering control, so you can change how light or heavy the steering is. So if I push it up, you can see it goes from comfort, normal, sport. So that's all. So basically in comfort it will be quite light, and in sport it will tighten up the steering or make it heavier, just to give more feedback. And all these buttons move just up, they don't move down. Then this is for your drive mode selector. So you can see currently I am in normal. Then we have sport plus, the tachometer changes. Then we have track, so the track mode again changes the display. Then we have the drag mode or drag strip mode. Then you have your snow or wet mode, and then back to normal. So that's all in this. Then you have a few USB ports, not a few, just one actually, and you have a 12-volt socket and some storage space here. Then here you have that plastic aluminum trim with the sync badging here. So you have your 6-speed manual here. It has a golf ball style shifter, and it is taken straight from the Bullet Mustang, and it feels really good to the hold, and I bet it will be pretty rewarding when you drive it, but since I'm in the showroom I cannot drive it right now. And if you go for the 10-speed automatic, you have a different style of shifter. That's the standard Ford shifter, automatic shifter. So that's a 10-speed automatic actually. Guys, so let me show you how the reverse camera looks. So as we shift it into reverse, you can see you have the reverse camera on, and that's the only thing or the only camera we have at the back. We don't have any cameras at the front or any blind spot assist, so that's all you get. Then you have a manual handbrake. So you have some decent cup holders, and you can see the ambient lighting inside. Then you have your armrest, which is in leather and feels soft, and you can open it this way, and you have a USB port and a 12-volt socket and some decent amount of storage. And the storage bin down here are actually rubberized, so most of your stuff will not move around a lot. So that's done. Then at the back you have some back seats. This one does not have the back seat deleted. You do have that as an option. You can delete them if you want to lower the weight. To be honest, if someone like me that's 6'4" or 195 centimeter is sitting in the front, there's no chance you can sit behind me. You can just use it for storing stuff, so that will be better. Then you have your glove box here, and it's a decent amount of size, and you can store some things, big things also in it, so it will be okay. Then we come to the rear view mirror, again frameless. This is a style which I like a lot. Then you have your dome lights. They should have been LED actually, it would have looked much better. So that's all there is to show. Then on the visor you have your buttons for your garage doors, which you can use it for that, and you have some decent size visors, and you have your vanity mirror here, again not LED lights, something Ford should change. So I believe that's all there is to show in the Mustang Mach 1. Hope you enjoyed the video a lot, and if you did, do leave a like down below. Also comment down below what features of the Mustang Mach 1 you did like, and also while you're down there, do consider subscribing and also turn on the notifications so that you'll be the first ones to know when I upload the latest videos. Also do follow me on Instagram. I will leave a link to my account down in the description. I do post the pictures of the cars I make a video on, and also I do post reels on the same cars itself. So if you like that kind of stuff, you do consider following me. Also, if you guys would like me to make more videos here in One of One, do consider following them on Instagram as well, and also on Snapchat. I will leave the link to both down in the description as well. So that's all there is to show on the Mustang Mach 1. Hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching guys. See you in the next video. Bye bye.